The prairie sun hangs low in the winter sky, casting long shadows across the snow-dusted fields. Inside the Ingalls cabin, the air is warm with the scent of stew and wood smoke, but something else lingers too. Tension. It's been weeks since Christmas, and the quiet joy of that crooked little tree has given way to the ordinary rhythms of winter life. But beneath the surface, a storm is brewing, not outside but between two sisters, Mary and Laura. Once their bond was unshakable. Laura followed Mary like a shadow. Mary protected Laura like a shield. But now everything feels different. Mary is quieter, more withdrawn, still adjusting to her world without sound. She reads more, speaks less, and moves through the house like a careful ghost, afraid to be a burden. Laura, meanwhile, is bursting with energy, questions, and the impulsive fire that has always defined her. She tries to include Mary, drawing pictures, acting out stories, tapping her shoulder to get her attention. But more often than not, she's met with silence or worse, a look of gentle frustration. Why won't she try? Laura asks Ma one evening, tears in her eyes. I'm right here. Can't she see that? Caroline sets down her mending and looks at her daughter with eyes full of understanding. She sees you, Laura, but she's lost in a world you can't follow her into, and that frightens her. But Laura doesn't want to hear about fear. She wants her sister back. The breaking point comes over something small, as it often does. Laura borrows Mary's favorite hair ribbon without asking. A simple blue satin strip Ma saved for months to buy. She ties it in her braid for school, proud of how it catches the light. When Mary discovers it missing, she doesn't yell. She doesn't cry. She simply goes to her room and closes the door. But Laura, defensive and hurt, follows her. It's just a ribbon, she snaps. You never wear it anymore. Mary turns, her eyes blazing with a pain deeper than anger. She signs slowly, deliberately. It's not about the ribbon. It's about you never asking, you never waiting, you never seeing me, just the sister you want me to be. Laura recoils as if struck. That's not true! But Mary turns away, and this time the door stays closed. For days, the cabin feels like two houses under one roof. Mary eats in silence, reads by the window, avoids the common room when Laura is there. Laura throws herself into chores, talks too loudly, laughs too hard, as if volume could fill the space between them. Charles and Caroline watch it all with heavy hearts. They could force a reconciliation. They could scold, mediate, demand an apology, but they don't. Because they know. True peace isn't imposed. It's chosen. Instead, Caroline begins telling stories at night. Not from books, but from her own childhood. Stories of her and her sister fighting over dolls, over chores, over who got the last biscuit. I thought I'd never speak to her again, Caroline says one evening, her voice soft. But then she brought me wildflowers the next morning. Didn't say a word, just left them on my pillow. Laura glances at Mary's closed door. Charles, meanwhile, gives Laura a task: repair the fence on the east pasture. It's hard work, cold hands, splintered wood, stubborn posts. As she hammers, she thinks, not about being right, but about being kind, and Mary? She watches from the window, sees Laura's hands grow red with cold, sees her stumble, get up, keep working. One afternoon, Laura comes in exhausted, her fingers raw. On the table, she finds a small bowl of warm water, a cloth, and a jar of Ma's healing salve. No note, no words, but she knows. That night, she knocks on Mary's door. Mary opens it, eyes wary. Laura doesn't speak. She simply holds out the blue ribbon, clean, folded, whole. Then she signs the only words she knows how to say, I'm sorry. Mary looks at her. Really looks, and for the first time in weeks her eyes soften. She takes the ribbon. Then she takes Laura's hand and places it over her own heart. I missed you, she signs. And just like that, the wall crumbles. But the healing doesn't stop there. Over the next days, they learn a new rhythm. Laura waits. She taps gently. She writes notes when signing isn't enough. Mary tries harder to respond, to smile, to reach out, to say yes, even when she's tired. It's not perfect. There are still misunderstandings, moments of frustration, days when the silence feels heavy again. But now, they have a bridge. Now they have a choice. Now, they have each other. Now, family quarrel might seem like a simple story about sisters fighting over a ribbon. But beneath the surface, it's one of Little House's most honest portrayals of love in real life. Because real love isn't flawless. It stumbles, it hurts, it misunderstands, but real love also repents. It reaches, it repairs. Michael Landon, who wrote this episode, understood that family isn't about never fighting. It's about never letting the sun go down on your anger. And Melissa Gilbert and Melissa Sue Anderson, as Laura and Mary, bring a raw authenticity to their conflict that still resonates 50 years later. Their fight isn't dramatic or loud. It's quiet, human, and achingly familiar to anyone who's ever loved someone deeply enough to hurt them. Karen Grassel, as Caroline, embodies a truth every parent knows. You can't force your children to love each other, but you can model what repair looks like. And Charles? He shows us that sometimes the best way to teach is to give space and trust that love will find its way back. Today, this story echoes with urgent relevance. In a world of unfriending, canceling, and walking away at the first sign of conflict, family quarrel whispers a countercultural truth. The strongest bonds aren't those that never break, but those that choose again and again to be mended. So if this journey moved you, if you've ever fought with someone you love or long to repair a broken bridge, I'd be honored to hear your story. Drop a comment below. What's one small thing you did to say, "I'm sorry"? If this 59-minute storytelling of family quarrel touched your heart, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to SG Top Celebrities, and hit the bell so you never miss another story that heals, teaches, and reminds us that love is a verb, not just a feeling. Thank you for walking this tender path with Mary and Laura. As Ma would say, a family isn't a perfect circle. It's a patchwork quilt, stitched together with patience, worn soft by time, and held together by grace. Until next time, choose repair, choose presence, choose love even when it's hard.